Hello, folks. Today we're going to talk about women, empathy, chili. When you have a girlfriend or a wife, neither of which I do, so don't take this too seriously, but really it's some good knowledge. Yeah, it's good knowledge. If you have a woman who is a wife or a girlfriend, it's important to remember that comparing some kind of experience out of your life to what she's talking about isn't always the way to go. In fact, it rarely is. For example, if I had a girlfriend and she came up to me and she was like, "Dylan, I've had brown hair my whole life, and I've been thinking about going blonde, or maybe redhead. I just can't make up my mind, and I've been really indecisive about it. And I don't know, what do you think?" The response I would come up with right away is to just blurt out, "I know exactly what you mean. Every time I make a bowl of chili, I can't really decide whether I want cheese in it or if I want a lot of cheese in it. Don't do that. You just compared your woman to chili, and the hair could be the cheese, but that's a best case scenario for how she might see it. Don't do that. Don't do that. What you need to do is take a few seconds, think about why this could be something that stirs indecision. And it's usually emotion down in the parts where that's kept. I'm not a doctor. I'm not familiar where that might be. But you need to think about that. This is the empathy part. Saying the chili stuff is not the empathy thing. That's a simile at best. That's not a simile. That's a metaphor that has no business in your lady's hair. What you need to do is really think about why that kind of a change might bother her, might cause a little bit of anxiety maybe, a little bit of inner turmoil, and a big part of it may be that if she's had the same kind of hairstyle for most of her life, it might be to the point where changing that is seen as a change in her self-identity beyond just the physical appearance. And it could carry with it the fear that that change could bring on anywhere from not being noticed and being a form of rejection, to where it could be heavily noticed in a negative way, and that's an even worse kind of form of rejection maybe, depending on the person. And if you vocalize these kind of thoughts, where you acknowledge that yeah, I could see how that could be a hard decision to make. It's a change, and change can be scary, especially when it could change not only how some people might treat you, but how you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. And if that's the problem, it may not even be healthy to say all that. Sometimes all you need to do, instead of popping in, thinking that part through is important, but you don't always need to say everything you think, even if there's a good intention behind it. Because a lot of times when women talk to you, they're not coming to you for a solution to the problem. They just want to be heard. And if you can do that thought process and understand it, and understand that those things might be part of the concern, and then just be reassuring that whatever decision she makes, you'll still be there for her, and you'll still care about her just as much, and you think she'll be beautiful either way, that's the important part. That's the response to the call that's so important in listening. And doing that pre-empathizing in your mind of trying to understand for yourself why that emotional aspect is so important to an issue like that being brought up, because maybe at a further point in the discussion she brings it up yourself and you've already done the emotional internal homework that is empathy, and you're prepared to discuss that in a way that's far more accepting, conducive, and reciprocal to where she's at that point. And if you don't have the words ready, maybe you have a whole of chili there that you can just take a few bites and nod while you think it through to where you get to where you've got a set of words put together that'll probably do the trick. In any case, always put as much cheese as you can afford to put in your chili. And another bad metaphor right there. Put as much thought and time into your loved one's emotions as you can afford without going hungry.